Anyway, who wants to hear about my time at Super Smash Con 2019? Because that's what the first half of this stream is going to be. So let me get this music ready for you guys, and yeah, we'll get started. There we go. And now to show off the slideshow. Boom. Cool. Okay, anyway, for those who haven't been keeping up with what I've been up to lately, I attended Super Smash Con again about a month ago. This is my 4th year going, and this was also the first one my mom didn't attend alongside me, and that's because this year, my college pally Duke traveled alongside me this time. But anyway, it's finally time to give you all an in-depth look at my time here, as well as a bit on Duke's side too. Do with last year's, feel like doing with this year's as well. Now, I should mention that all the stuff being covered in this year's slideshow were from my point of view, and that we weren't able to attend every single event that the convention had to offer, so if you're expecting me to talk about a certain event that we weren't there for, or a coverage of the entirety of the convention, you're not really going to get that here. With that out of the way, it's recap time. If the curtains can... There we go. Let the curtains stop the show. Yeah. Okay, day 1, August 8th, 2019. Duke and I both got up at around 8:30 a.m. and ate some breakfast that my mom made. After getting ready and packing up whatever we had left to bring up on our trip, I called an Uber and we arrived at the airport at around 10 a.m. After getting through security, we waited a few hours and eventually boarded our flight at 12:13 p.m. There weren't any delays before the plane took off like last time. However, our flight was originally supposed to leave at around 7:30 in the morning when we booked it back in April. And ended up getting delayed about a month later after getting booked to 5 hours later around high noon, as I just mentioned earlier. So while I was a bit disappointed that that happened, I didn't really find it that big of an issue. Anyway, we ended up taking off 20 minutes later in the sky. So it's up to us to watch the sky. So anyway, on our flight, Duke and I were separated into different seats from each other. I got a window seat and Duke got a seat a few spots ahead from where I was. The flight lasted about 3 hours, and during this, I watched Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny, one of my favorite movies of all time. Afterwards, I ended up taking a nap for the remainder of the flight, and eventually we arrived in Dulles at around 4 p.m., which is where the convention was, and always has been these past couple of years. So yeah, here's the airport we landed at. We got off the plane, got my suitcase from baggage claim, and I called for a van to drive over to the airport and take us to our hotel. To our Koopa Hotel! So while waiting for the van to show up, we ended up meeting some people who were also attending Super Smash Con, one of which being a commentator for the Rivals of A4 side tourney. At around 5:30 p.m. our van showed up, and we arrived at our hotel 10 minutes later. Overall transportation was way better this time compared to last year, when back then there were weather delays and misdirection to where we had to be. Not so much this time, aside from the rescheduled flight time, of course. So here's the hotel we stayed at. One of the Saving Koopa hotels we stayed at. Hotel Maz. Yep. Hotel Maz here. Okay, anyway, we arrived here and we checked in. We set our bags around in the hotel room we were staying in. For this year, we ended up staying in a room in the West Wing. First time I stayed in a room in this side of the hotel, as all the ones from the previous 3 years I attended were on the East Wing. We hung out in our room for around 15 minutes, and at one point, I took a picture of this. It's some plushes, also my plushes, and Duke's Morgana plush on the only bed in our hotel room. I'm saying the only bed because we were only able to get a master bedroom instead of a 2-bedder this year. I didn't have any problem sharing the bed with Duke, but in the end, Duke ended up making a separate bed for himself out of a lounge chair and it's still left in our room. So I pretty much had this bed all to myself during our stay here. After that, we got into our convention attire, and before heading out, Duke took a picture of his Morgana plush here. I should mention that some of the pictures being shared here were also from Duke's camera, so some of these pictures are things he wanted me to add in, so yeah. So yeah, after all that, we finally headed straight to the Expo Center, the main area for the convention. We made it inside after waiting 15 minutes in a line outside, and then waited in another line, but this one was for picking up custom badges. While waiting to get mine, I took a picture of this. It's some banners of Diddy Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, and if you look closely in the far back, there are also ones for Pichu and Marth. These were decorations that were hung around the ceiling everywhere in the Expo Center. They had one for every playable character in Smash Bros. Ultimate up to the time of when this picture was taken. From Mario all the way up to Banjo and Kazooie. They weren't for sale, unfortunately. That was not for sale! But yeah, like I said, they weren't for sale, they were just for display only, but I would definitely love to own one of these things right here. The Banjo one especially. Also, here's some more banners that me and Duke took pictures of. We got one of Isabelle, Sonic, and if you look closely in the back of the pic with Sonic, there's one for Dr. Mario. There is Dr. Mario, and he is Dr. Mario, and there is a restroom, so I don't know what the picture there. Yeah. Anyway, after 10 minutes of waiting in that line in particular, I finally got my custom badge, and we finally started looking around the convention. During this, ran into a familiar face that I met from last year's convention. Matt Herms, a comic book artist slash colorist for such works including Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and some others. For those who missed or didn't tune into last year's convention coverage, I ended up commissioning him to draw Chemo from Super Duper Sumos that year. Okay, there we go. Yeah, he drew this. Isn't it beautiful? Definitely worth the commission right there. But yeah. Anyways, he was back this year selling some art pieces and taking commissions like last time. So we stopped by and said hi. Oh, Savia, thank you for the $100 donation. Appreciate it. Anyway, he was back this year selling some art pieces and taking commissions like last time, so we stopped by and said hi. He actually remembered my face from last year, and it was really cool to run into him again. I did commission him to draw something again during day 2 of the convention, but more on that later. I let Duke talk with him for a while, and during this, I took this picture right here. Yeah, there we go. This picture right here, this was the main stage for this year's convention. A totally different look compared to the previous 4 years, in the form of a middle stage with 4 TVs from different sides. Pretty much similar to what you would see in a sports stadium. It's a bit far away in this shot, but I do have some pictures closer to the stage that we'll get to way later during this presentation. Anyway, after catching up with Meat Herms, we continued looking around the venue, checking out a bunch of other booths in the marketplace area, and eventually, I took a picture of this Snorlax plush right here. I didn't buy it, mainly because I wasn't a fan of the material that this one had, but I thought it looked cute, so I decided to take a picture of it. I ended up getting a different Snorlax plush from another booth behind this one instead, which I'll show you all towards the very end of this presentation, along with everything else that I bought this convention. Here's another picture of the exact same booth with an extended view of what else they had to offer. It was mostly Japanese imported plushes, figurines, and games. I did buy some stuff from this booth on days 2 and 3, but like I just mentioned, none of them were that Snorlax plush y'all just saw. After checking this booth out, we continued exploring, caught up with some old friends that I met during the previous SmashCon conventions I went to. And pretty soon, Duke and I took our first picture together at the convention. Here it is. We got me on the left with my super jacket and favorite shirt and dry bones hat. And Duke on the right in his Joker cosplay. I pretty much wore this for the entirety of the convention, while Duke wore this outfit for day 2 and 3. And this day. Duke's face is censored mainly by the request of him, but just for this picture right here, so that's why Torchix had his mask over his face here, in case you guys wanted to know. After taking this picture, we watched a bit of the Smash 64 combo contest this year. Here's a little clip of one combo that really caught my attention. And this was blindfolded too, if you can look there on the bottom right corner there.
So, you actually might be right. So he actually keeps...
Yeah, I got another one at, this went on for like about 3 minutes, but I cut it short so you guys just see what, how this combo turned out. So, back to the clip. Let's watch.
Accidentally full hopping. So I wonder if Combo Blaze short hops with the stick. There are players that do that. And maybe because he's nervous, he's now full hops, like stick hopping.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He can't tell that it's not connecting. Oh!
There it is.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know if it's connected.
Amazing. But anyway, after checking that out, we walked around some more, and eventually I bought some stuff from these two booths right here. These two booths right here. Okay, there we go. There they are. It was another plush and a few cute charms that I bought. They didn't have Rolf's Lucky Great Nano Kidney Stone keychain, but what I ended up getting was pretty sweet. As for what the plushes and charms were, wait till the end to find out. Here are some other shopping booths that Duke took pictures of. The one on the left is another booth that I got a keychain charm from. The other one, I didn't really buy anything there during my time here. These next three pictures that Duke took here are some other stuff being sold at the convention. I'm not sure about the binder or notebook on the right there, but everything else here was definitely up for Granny grabbing. Granny's gonna grab them convention items! The Isabel Sprite Bee necklace was already bought by someone, so Duke just wanted to get a little picture of it. Later on, me and Duke split up for a while, and I ended up heading to the Brawl Tourney area at around 9 PM, where I played friendlies for about half an hour. Here's a pic of me in front of the tourney area sign that was taken on the second day of the convention. But anyway, back to what happened on day one. I played Brawl friendlies with two opponents, Smash King and the other one. I don't recall his name, but I do remember him wearing a Panda Global jersey. I couldn't get a single game off Smash King, but I did win one game against the latter. I later regrouped with Duke after around 5 games. And when he opened the box, there was 5! So yeah. And then at around 9:30 PM, we left the venue and headed to McDonald's for dinner. Here's something that Duke wanted me to take a picture of. His Morgana plush with what he had for dinner that night. A little nod to that burger challenge thing from Persona 5. After eating and hanging out there for like about an hour, we headed back to our hotel room and rested up for the second day. So that's pretty much it for what happened on day 1. So let's move on to day 2. August 9th, 2019. Anyway, this image right here pretty much sums up what we had for breakfast that day. So yeah, this image is relevant to what I'm talking about. To those who've been following my streams, you should know why I picked this image specifically. But anyway, we both got up at around 7 AM, and I went to the hotel's main floor to stock up on some drinks for a mini fridge. God, I'm fucking thirsty. Let me stock up the fridge. We got breakfast at around 8:40 AM and then headed to the convention 20 minutes later. We had to wait about an hour to get in that day because, one, they amped up security for this year. This is something that I forgot to mention earlier. They set up metal detectors and hired people to check people's bags at the front door. We had to go through this process every time we re-entered the expo center. Some people found this annoying, but I understood why they did it. Another reason was because this day marked the beginning of singles tournaments, and of course, a lot of people signed up for those. There were 2 separate lines for, yeah, each. One for just attending the convention, and the other for tourney participants. We ended up taking the latter, since our first tournament of the day started at 10 AM. Speaking of which, all our tournaments happened on this day as well. During our wait, I noticed Prince, a consecutive winner for the Smash 64 combo contest, was right next to us in line, and I got a picture of him. Here it is. For those who are curious, he didn't win this year's combo contest. Kiss. I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong. As well as other Smash players we will talk about later in advance. That guy ended up winning instead, but Prince did get a Smashing on day 3 for his 3-year consecutive winning streak. Eventually, Duke and I made it inside the Expo Center and got to our pool at around 10:15 AM for the only doubles tournament I signed up for this year. Ultimate Doubles. Here's a picture of the tourney area that we played at, as well as which pool. Number 515. So, we were 15 minutes late, but due to the long waiting line outside, the convention excused people who had 10 AM pools, since they weren't going to DQ them unless they didn't show up after 11 AM, so thank Lordy for that. As I just mentioned earlier, this was the only doubles tournament that I did this year, as well as the only tournament that Duke signed up for. And as much as I wanted to do Brawl doubles again this year, I couldn't, mainly due to bad scheduling, as it was held on day 1 in the afternoon, so I had to miss it, unfortunately. But anyway, we started playing at 10:40 AM and Ended up not winning a single game, losing to A-Star the Third and Brecker in winners, and Aloof and Sultan in losers. We got a few stocks off during some games, but as for winning any matches, not for this tournament. Regardless of results, we still had fun, and plus, from what I looked up, we were placed in round 2 from the very start of the tourney, so we weren't one of the teams to be eliminated first. And with that, we placed 385th in Ultimate Singles. At around 11 a.m., we checked out more of the venue, and I think around this time, this was when I commissioned Matt Herms to draw something. So I did that, and then later at 12:15 p.m., Duke and I checked out the arcade area. We looked at what arcade machines they had to offer this year, some of which had broken screens, making some catchers either glitch or not show up at all. And eventually we played a game that caught our eye. Sonic the Fighters. This was a 2012 re-release version, which is why Robotnik was playable in this game. From what I looked up, he was originally accessible in the first version through hacking methods, so me and Duke played a best out of 3 set here. Duke played as Sonic and Knuckles, and I went Robotnik. I ended up winning 2-0, with Duke only taking 1 round off me. After that, I played around a Crazy Taxi. Here are the results from when I played it, which I consider an improvement from when I first tried it out about a decade or so ago. Which is like, I think, in the middle of a highway. It was a really long-ass time ago. It was the longest fucking time ago, right in New Jersey. But yeah. After that, we left the arcade area, and then spent some time walking around the venue, and buying a few more things. At around 12:15 p.m., we found Zero, well known as the best Smash 4 player in the world. He was doing a meet and greet around where the Hall of Fame area was. The Wall of Fame area. Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame, same thing. So, we went there, and ended up getting this picture taken with him. Dude got a picture of him as well as getting his badge signed. So, here's a quick snapshot of the autograph that Duke got from Zero. Look at this autograph! Pretty cool. Also, I think this was the only day that Zero showed up for this convention. He was a part of a YouTuber panel that we missed, and ended up winning the Smash Masters tournament later during the evening. After all that, he left and co-streamed some of the convention's tournaments on his Twitch channel. In the end, he was sweet, and it was cool meeting him. About 90 minutes later, it was time for my next and last tournament of the day. Brawl Singles. They're fitting music. Okay. At 12:15 p.m. No. At 2 p.m. Yes. We went over here to the Brawl tourney area again. Right there is the pool I played at, number 102. The reason there are only 2 people in this shot is because this was taken during the last day of the convention, and this place was almost deserted around that time. When we got here on day 4, the place was deserted. Anyway, my pool started at 2:30 p.m., about 30 minutes later. It was one of the last ones for Phase 1 of the entire tournament. Like last year's Brawl Singles tourney and Ultimate Doubles from earlier, I was already placed in round 2 winners, or as it says on Smash.gg, the winners quarterfinals. So I had to wait to see who would win round 1 to find out who was going to fight first. It was between Master JJ and Proz. The former used Pit while the latter used Wario. Proz ended up winning 2-1, so he was my first opponent for the tournament. So here's a picture of me and him. We were going to do a quick friendly session before our pool started, but we ended up having to give up our setup just when we got to the character selection screen. So this round pretty much made up for that. Anyway, for game 1, Proz stuck with Wario, and as for me, I pulled out a new main that I practiced with during my pre-week training session. So allow me to show you all who it is with this special video right here. Check this out!
D.D.D., that's the name you should know. D.D.D., he's the king of the show. You'll holler and hoot, he'll give Kirby a boot. D.D.D. is the one.
Yep, it's King Dedede, or Wa Dedede, as I like to call him. 12th best character in the game, as well as one of the best heavyweights. I picked him up thanks to how I handled him in Ultimate, and plus, I needed a good counter for sword fighter characters, which a lot of my already pre-existing Brawl mains were lacking. Anyway, I pulled out DDD for game 1, and the battle began. I won the first game, losing only one stock to Praz. For game 2, I stuck with DDD, and Praz ended up switching to Lucario. This game was a bit more difficult than the first one, but I managed to win again with the exact same results as game 1. So I beat Praz 2-0, moved on to the winner semifinals and Phase 1 pools. My next opponent was Kid Goggles, who used Kirby for the entirety of our match. I don't have a picture of him, so instead, here's this picture. This picture of Kirby not getting beaten up and me by the Tourney Arena sign again. It was taken during this day, as I brought up before, so good enough substitute. Now, Kirby was a character who I used to main in Brawl, but didn't have a good counter figured out for. At the time of this tournament, of course. But anyway, for game 1 I stuck with DDD, and ended up losing, taking only one stock off of Kid Goggles. For game 2 I switched to Pikachu, who I used for the remainder of the entire tournament. I lost game 2, and with a score of 0-2, I ended up getting sent to the losers bracket. Here's a picture of me and my next opponent in the tournament, Firewater, an Ice Climber's main. As I mentioned earlier, I stuck with Pikachu for the entirety of this round. We started playing, and I ended up getting chain grabbed to my dome, knocking me out with another 0-2 score. With that, I was eliminated from the tournament, and placed 65th in Brawl Singles. Not a new record high, but an improvement from last year's Brawl Singles tournament, where I placed 97th. Overall, another fun tournament, and it was a blast to pick up and play Brawl again with others. I even met up with some of my old Brawl doubles partners too! After Phase 1 of pools came to a close, I got some pizza from a cafe inside the Expo Center, and then bought a few Sprite Bead linear things from this booth right here, as a way to reward myself for how I did in Brawl Singles this year. I ended up getting the paper versions of DDD and Wolf. The former I wore for the rest of this convention, which led to this picture being taken. If you look really closely, you can see me holding DDD. What did it do? Yeah, it was pizza time. It was pizza time for me. But yeah. Anyways, whoops. Great, I spoiled a few more pictures. Okay, anyways, after Phase 2 of Brawl Singles came to Phase 1 of Brawl Singles came to a close. Good job, man. Phase 2 just started at the main stage. Right here is a match between Vex and Sunuko. The former ended up winning the set, and after 2 hours of spectating, Hungrybox, Mealy got in the best Jigglypuff in said game, showed up, and I took this picture of him right here that I already spoiled to you guys. Here is the picture with me and him in my Jigglypuff plush that I bought back during Super Smash Con 2016. Good pick. After that, Phase 2 of Brawl Singles were pretty much over, so Duke and I then started spectating some Ultimate Singles matches that were happening on the main stage. At around 7:40 p.m., a Mario cosplayer walked on by, and I took this picture of him. He was going for a Super Mario Sunshine themed look, and even had a foot on him right there as well. Pretty cool cosplay. After 10 minutes, this ended up happening on the monitor that we watched Phase 2 of Brawl Singles from, and this happened on for like about 5 minutes. It's a little behind the scenes overlay sort of deal of how these streams are being handled. Humorous to see publicly on the monitor, but also very interesting. After half an hour, I found a familiar face, who I took a picture with at last year's convention. Esam, one of the best Pikachu players in Smash community. So yeah, here's a quick snapshot I made of him, as you'll see on the screen right there. I was about to head back to my seat after taking this picture, but then he told me to stop for about a minute. He ended up getting me a wristband for taking a picture of him. That was sweet, and thanked him for the wristband. After that, I headed back to my seat and continued spectating until 9:25 p.m. Around that time, me and Duke left the venue for the day and went to Pizza Hub for some more grub.
So even more pizza time. Time for it to be had.
So yeah, I didn't really care, I was still hungry. Yeah, these were actual customers at the Pizza Hut we were at, but not the exact Pizza Hut we went to, but we went there, and it was also a merch restaurant with Taco Bell, which I did get food from at last year's convention. So yeah, we got pizza there, and after eating, we headed back to the hotel afterward and just hung out and watched the new Rocco special, Static Cling, since it got released on Netflix that day. We later went to bed at around midnight, so that was pretty much it for day 2. Now on to day 3, August 11th, 2019, which I should have mentioned is a Saturday.
Ah, yes! Saturdays are made for dads. And dads...
Yep, it was a Saturday, so yeah. On to day 3. So, we both got up at around 8 a.m., and while getting ready, Duke found this mantis right here by our window, as y'all can see right here. You can also get a good look at what was outside our window in the hotel room we stayed at. And eventually, we headed out to get breakfast at 9:40 a.m. This time we ended up going to a restaurant that I haven't ate before during the past SmashCon trips. Babo's, which was a dining restaurant inside the hotel. Here's what I had for breakfast that day, as long as Duke's meal in the top left corner of this here picture. After an hour, we headed straight for the convention. Upon entering the Expo Center, I took this picture of Duke with another Joker cosplayer around the front door area, doing this Spider-Man bit right here. What a bunch of jokers! There are a lot of Joker cosplayers this year, so they were pretty much the most popular convention at the convention. The most popular costume at the convention. I'm not sure if I had said convention twice, correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever. Speaking of costumes, there was also a costume contest being held this day, but me and Duke did not enter that said contest. Here are some more pictures that Duke took of some other cosplayers that we ran into at the convention. We got Samuel Undertaker, who is now a me costume in Smash Bros. Ultimate. We also got the guy from Dark Souls, and the Black Knight from Fire Emblem. Pretty cool costumes. Anyway, after taking that Joker Man picture from earlier, this one, we headed to the Ultimate Tourney area to spectate some matches. On our way there, we ran to this DDD cosplayer right here, and I took this picture of him. After doing that, we watched about 30 minutes of the Wii U singles tournament. More on that later. And at 11 a.m., we got up and walked around the venue some more. And I soon got a picture with this fancy cat right here. The Pika-Bug. Miles, I was the one that leaked stands for Smash. Oh my god, Duke, what have you done? What has history done? But, anyway, we got a picture of this car right here. This is an official Nintendo-owned promotional vehicle that was given away in a contest back in 2001. And as of this broadcast, was in the process of being restored. For $5, I was able to get a picture of myself in the driver's seat of the vehicle as shown here. And in return, I ended up getting a pin button as a way of thanks for funding the restoration project. We continued walking around the venue after that, and eventually stopped by Matt Herms' booth again because my commission was finally ready. And here's what he drew. It's an art sketch of BS from Super Duper Sumos. Isn't it beautiful? I felt like commissioning him to draw something Super Duper Sumos related again, so I requested him to draw the fan favorite character this time. In the end, this was definitely one of the best things I brought from this convention, and he did a really fantastic job on it. After tucking this away in a folder inside my backpack, Duke and I went to the Expo Center's cafe where I bought an icy to drink. An icy? And while waiting in line to get said drink for my Diet Dr. Kelp, top 8 for Wii U singles was going on in the main stage around that time. And this right here happened.
This is interesting because I know Diddy was one of Zero Suit's roughest matchups in this game as well. So it's gonna be. Can we get the screen, please? Can we get the screen?
Yeah, the disc crashed. Incredible. Yeah, that happened. But anyways, to those who are curious who won this year's tournament, it was DeBuzz, best Rosalina player in Wii U, and one of the best Olimar players in Brawl. After that tournament came to a close, top 8 of Brawl Singles was next up on the main stage. So of course I had to stick around for that. Speaking of which, if I can get to next slide, there we go, okay. Here's a little clip that I recorded from the last few minutes in the finals between Nairo and Anti. So let's watch. Yeah, that right there is a little soundbite that's freaking rare as hell to hear if you get hit by Meta Knight that way, as Meta Knight. They're still going. And there's the kill. So as y'all just saw right there, Ante won Brawl Singles this year, beating Nairo, as well as putting an end to his 2-year consecutive winning streak for this year's tournament. Still, they both played great. Anyways, after Brawl Singles was over, I got this picture taken, which I consider to be probably my favorite costume at the entire convention. There. It's me, with a Banjo-Kazooie cosplayer. Definitely my favorite costume at this year's convention, so I just had to get a picture with this guy. Afterwards, Duke and I went to get our phones charged at the charging area, mainly because my portable charger was out of juice, and I forgot to pack my USB phone cable before leaving for breakfast that day. We hung out there until 6 p.m. and then headed out for the venue to grab some din din. I got Chick-fil-A, and Duke got himself McDonald's. After getting our food, we headed back to the hotel room and ended up eating it there. During this, I grabbed my USB phone cable and stashed it away in my backpack, just in case I had to charge my phone later that day. At 7:45 p.m., we headed back to the convention. We checked out the Ultimate Tourney area for a bit, and found Anti. I ended up getting this picture taken by him. So yeah. By the time I took this picture, his next pull was about to start. Wishing him best of luck, congratulated him on winning Brawl Singles, and then Duke and I sat near the main stage to watch Phase 2 of Brawl Singles. We spectated for about 2 hours, and then left the venue for the rest of the night. We ended up watching Ed and Eddie's Big Picture show, and then some Toonami back at the hotel room. We soon hit the hay at around 2:30 a.m., wrapping up Day 3. Now on to the 4th and final day of the convention, August 11th, 2019. We got up at around 9 a.m., ate some McDonald's for breakfast, again, and then head to the convention at around 10 a.m. This picture that y'all see right here is a mural located right across from where the Expo Center entrance was. It was being worked on while the convention was going on, and it was finally finished being made on this day. Well, that's cool, so I took this here picture. Afterward, we made it inside the Expo Center and walked around the venue for about 90 minutes. During this, I took a few more pictures. This first one right here is Duke in his Deku hoodie in front of the Smash 64 tourney area sign. Neither of us play this entry anymore. Duke just wanted this picture taken mainly because Pikachu was one of his mains and he wanted a pic of his boy. That's how he quoted it. This next picture right here is from a booth that I did not buy anything from. Duke did. More on that later. But it did have something that caught my eye. Can y'all guess what it was? Maybe it's that, Sega Genesis in the top right corner there, but I fooled you all. It's a plush of Eusapion. Or Mrs. Nisbet, as I call him in my Yokai Watch 3 playthrough. Wearing what appears to be pajamas? I don't know for sure. As I mentioned, I didn't buy it, mainly because I already had a plush of Eusapion, but it was cool to see some Yokai Watch merch at this convention. After taking these pictures, and at around 11:30 a.m., Duke and I sat down around the main stage area and watched top 48 of Ultimate Singles. Here's a little point of view perspective pic from where we watched it, featuring a set between Shoton and Light. Around 90 minutes later, Duke and I headed back to the Pikabug for a scheduled group picture calling any Pikachu mains at the convention. It was supposed to happen at around 2 p.m., but due to scheduling trouble for a few notable Pikachu players, it got pushed back to an hour earlier instead. We ended up making it there too late, but to make up for it, I got a picture with the organizer for the event, which I'll show you all in about a minute. But first, it's time for another background funny shenanigan cameo moment thingy. Featuring a set between Isam and Raphaex.
To one only needs one solid hit. He could just get him with side B, up smash, or a grab even could possibly do it.
Yeah, side B's not going to do it from center stage. He's going to have to get it near the ledge, but this could be stock here. Oh, Rappy, great DI. Stay on his game, that one. Good positioning, and ECM SD, so it's Rappy getting a 2-stock in return. Going to game 5, Reslip.
Yeah, ECM going a little bit too deep for that down B coverage on the stage.
There I am, Gary, there I am! Look! My mouse isn't there, but you can see me right there. Let me slow it down so you can see what I do in this here match.
Raffy was super ready for it, so I...
Yeah, I'm like, look at me, I'm on modder. Yeah. And I'm showing up on stream. And I do have some other, there were some other matches where I did show up on the modder and on stream for this here tournament, but in case any people are interested in checking that out, check out the live action playlist on my main YouTube channel. All the matches are right there. But anyway, as for who won this match, it was ESAM. Afterwards, I got that picture for the organizer taken, so, here it is. We got me and Caramel in front of the Peekabug. Pretty neat. Ultimate Singles continued until around 4 PM, where there were only 8 players left in the tournament. After that, top 8 of Melee Singles was next up on the main stage, but there was an intermission to get everything set up. During this, I got an IC from the Exo Spinner Cafe, again, and then took a picture of this. It's my Munchlax plush, on top of a cup noodles prop used for the photo booth area. That was a funny idea, so I did it. Well, I thought it was a funny picture. Yeah. At 5 PM, Melee Singles top 8 began. Since Duke and I both got out of our seats during the intermission, we ended up moving to a different side of the main stage area. This was interesting because the main stage TV monitor used for that specific side wasn't working at all during the entirety of Melee Singles. But the stream crew did take note of this, and this next clip I have to share with you guys is what they did while they were trying to fix the issue. Check this out. We got Gimar in the middle right there holding his phone as a substitute. And this went on for like about, I think, 10 to 15 minutes. But eventually, the crew brought in a regular TV monitor for our side to watch. So, here it is right here. We couldn't see what was being broadcasted on stream, but we at least were able to see the gameplay. We even got to see the Tom Nook trophy getting unlocked at one point. But back to the tournament. It ended at around 8 PM with Leffen as the victor. Afterwards, Duke and I headed out to Wendy's to grab some grub. Here's a little snapshot of what I had for dinner over there. We hanged here for about half an hour and then head back to the convention to watch top 8 of Ultimate Singles, the last main event of the night. Here's our view from where we watched the tournament. Pretty much every attendee was around for this, so the main stage area was packed around this time. As for video clips, here's something that I recorded featuring the last few seconds of the winner's semis match between MK Leo and Samusora. This was also the last thing that I recorded during my time here. So, check this out. The ultimate bitch slap. Look at that. Also more cup noodles, oh boy, yeah! So, as y'all just saw, Samusora won this set, sending MK Lawyer to losers. Now here's the crazy part. These two players also made it to Grand Finals during this tournament. But in the end, MK Leo ended up making a comeback in losers and managed to win Ultimate Singles. The tournament wrapped up at around 12:30 AM, also marking the end of Super Smash Con 2019. Duke and I tried to get a picture with Leo, but he had to go do an interview immediately following his tournament win, so no pic with Leo, but to make up for it, if we can get to the next slide, thank you. Here's the interview itself, with me and Duke bombing in the background. Check this out. Also, I'm gonna mute it because I got a few more notes to add while this is going on. This way we're gonna show up. Also, ads go away. Yep, there's me. Do a little dance. There's some kid. And there's Duke. Okay, we do show up later, but we walked over there and around this point, I did notice some other person that I did want to get a picture with. So I let Duke know, and a few seconds later, we got a picture of him, but as I just mentioned, we appear again. Just wait. Just wait. Be patient. Did your mommy not teach you manners? We got more photo bombers right there. There's Hungry Bucks. There's a kid again. There's me. Making an ass of myself like usual. And there's Duke. Dabbing Duke. Oh boy. But yeah. Anyways, that's all the photobombing that we did in this clip right here. So, here's that person I got a picture with. We got me and Roflox, one of the tournament organizers for the convention. I wanted to get a picture with this guy at last year's convention. He was also there during last year, as I just said. But that didn't happen, so this year pretty much made up for that. Anyway, after taking this picture, Duke and I said our goodbyes to the convention and then headed back to the hotel room. Upon returning, we packed some stuff up during our time. And during this, I took a picture of all the booty that me and Duke bought at the convention. There'll be more booty? Which all you guys are going to see right now. So here's everything, or mostly everything that we bought at Super Smash Con 2019. All my stuff is on the left side of the bed, and all Duke's stuff is on the right. I forgot to include the Peekabug pin button that I got during day 3 in this picture, but everything else is present here. So allow me to give you all a better view of these items. And a rundown of everything that I got at the convention. There we go. We got a plush of Snorlax doing the Come to Daddy pose from Super Duper Sumos. Yeah, here's a little comparison pic for you guys. Totally intentional. I can't believe it. After all this time, I can't believe that Game Freak knew about Super Duper Sumos. But yeah. We also got a Magolor plush. Why am I not moving the picture? Come on. Work with me. There you go, okay. We got a plush of Koo and Kirby. We got a free t-shirt that was given to all the attendees that attended this convention. That art sketch of BS that Matt Herms did. A cartridge of Tokoto Hamtaro Tomodachi Dakusin Dichu. The first Hamtaro game ever made and a Japanese exclusive. A Panda Global EFAM wristband. A Banjo-Kazooie key charm. Lanyard clip-ons of King Dedede and Wolf. A Super Smash Con key charm. And a badge for the convention with my gamer tag imprinted on the front. On the front of it. On the front. Yeah. As for what Duke bought, he got these plushes of Joker and 2 Mimikyus in the forms of Eevee and Flareon. A Sega Genesis cartridge of Sonic the Hedgehog 1. He also got a free SmashCon t-shirt as well. He also got this badge, and here's that autograph that Zero gave him again. And he got some SmashCon buttons and some stickers. So yeah, that's pretty much all we bought at the convention. Anyways, after taking this picture, let me make sure that this is centered. So this is really bothering me. Yeah, we're good, okay. Anyways, after taking this picture, we packed our stuff up, along with some other things that we brought, and then went to bed at around 4 AM. And we didn't even make chocolate pudding! So we packed the rest of our stuff up when we woke up, and then checked out at our hotel at around high noon to catch our 5 PM flight back home. And that was Super Smash Con 2019! Overall, it was a blast like all the other ones I've been to. It's really one of the best events we ever went to. We're hoping to this again next year, but, you know, dead Presidentes. We need them. We actually had to pay for airfare this time since my mom covered the hotel, so chances are we may be doing the same thing again for next time. That is if we do end up going to next year's convention. I'll let y'all know in the future if that does end up happening or not. Alrighty, recap time is over now. Super Smash Con 2019. 10 out of 10, still the best Kun Eva. Well guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this nearly hour-long session of me rambling about how fun of an event this was. And guys, if any of y'all want to attend a gaming convention in the future, a gaming convention in the future, same thing, definitely look into Super Smash Con. Loads of tournaments and subs for every Smash game you can possibly think of, shopping booths, indie games you can try out, live music performances, panels, cosplay contests, arcade machines, the list goes on. It's that fucking good. Just go give it a look-see. GOD, it's good!